again, carrying on with similar topics as before and whatnot. What are the most disappointing or most likely games to underperform in 2016? Again, disclaimer, we haven't obviously played all of them because, again, we're not fucking IGN. We don't have review copies coming out of their ear holes. So, yeah, some of it will be on based on, educated guesses and reviews and whatnot. So, yeah. So, again, I'm just going to go through the list and we shall talk about them. The first up is The Division. Much touted about this game. Yeah, much hyped about it pre-release. It's hard. I forgot this was even out in 2016. It came out at the start of the year, so technically still a 2016 game. It was fun for the. You played it, didn't you, Louise?
No.
No, did you not? I thought
I saw you play it and decided I didn't want it.
It was really fun. I enjoyed the progression for, like, say, the first 20 hours or whatever, and then when it got into the whole chase the loot system at the end game, it was not good, and there was a lot of exploits. Like, people were exploiting the shit out of the game, and the loot economy was just all over the shop, and it's never really been fixed, and it's, well, it sort of has, but there's still massive exploits, and it kind of, the whole game kind of just dropped off. People just don't talk about it, and it doesn't seem to have the same love that Destiny had, which is such a shame because it has so much potential, and the world's amazing. It feels empty, like of stuff in it, but it looks super realistic and beautiful, and it's really cool. They should have fleshed that out more, put more into it and stuff. And they were going for that whole Destiny sort of, loot driven Diablo sort of vibe, and that's fine, but once it got into that, once it left the sort of more traditional third person shooter and fell more into this sort of loot system, it didn't work. They hadn't learned enough of Destiny's mistakes, and whereas Destiny still had, it already had its fan base because it was the first, it was established, but I think it does a lot of things so much better than The Division does. So for me, it's disappointing, not because it's a bad game, because I still think it's a good game, and I still think that people who are, even into this day, who are into it, who love that loot shit, fair dues to them if they like it. But for me, the hype around this game, and then the disappointment after, when it's once it got into the end game, for me it's up there as a disappointing game for 2016 because of its potential, not because it's bad overall per se, but because of its potential. So first up, I'm gonna put in the Division. I don't know if you guys have got any thoughts on it. I for some reason I thought you played it with me for a while. I don't know. I must have got mistaken there, but yeah.
No, I've not really particularly got any opinions on it or anything. It wasn't even a game that particularly grabbed a hold of me anyway, I don't think.
There was a lot of hype about it, though. It's kind of like they built it up and made it sound like something it wasn't.
No, you're right. I'm thinking of a completely different game. No, yeah, I actually no, because I remember watching the trailer for it, and it was all like cinematic and shit, and it looked fucking awesome. No, yeah, you're right. So yeah, and then I remember saying to you or something, or someone else, it was probably you, and you said it was pretty shit and stuff. But yeah,
oh yeah, you wanted to get it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I said not to. Why don't you just play my copy for the first 20 hours until it changes into a loot thing? I've still got it. I should have sent it, traded it in, but I've still got it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go then. I will. I'll give it a go. Oh yeah, because I was gonna get the bundle, weren't I?
Yeah, you were big. Yeah, you were hyped into it, but I think you probably dodged a bullet there, because after the first 15, 20 hours, I really enjoyed that point, but then the loot thing, it's like Destiny had its problems, and I bounced from Destiny, but the Division has way more problems, way more, and so I'm just like, well, I'm not going to invest in this in the same way I did Destiny. I mean, Destiny sorted itself out with the Taken King, and then the DLC afterwards was questionable, but I couldn't be fucked investing in that for it to just, for me to just get sick of it down the road. So.
Oh God, I can't believe. Yeah, I can't believe that. I don't even know what game I was thinking of. Yeah, because I went.
Imagined a game.
Yeah, probably. I went with the Until Dawn bundle instead, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I remember you saying about that. I'll give it a go. Like, I'll try anything within reason.
We may as well play it up until it gets to that point where it wants you to do like shit tons of loot stuff, because it's quite good. It's not amazing, but it's fun. Next one I thought we'd talk about is Hitman. Hitman, not a bad game in any way. The gameplay's great. I'm not talking about that in terms of disappointment. For me, it's the model. It's the release model. How they've released it off in episodes.
I'm still looking forward to it, but I refuse to buy it until they put it on disc.
Yeah, I mean it's the same for me. Yeah,
I want to play at my goddamn pace, not their pace.
Like, I'm not into that. I think some games definitely have a shout for being episodic, and they make sense. Hitman's not one for me. So for me, that's why it's a major disappointment. Like, I haven't played probably the most recent Hitman, but
the last
before
one
this,
is better stricken from memory, I think.
But I have a definite fondness of Hitman. I've played a bunch of them, so
it goes back more to the style of Blood Money, which is good. That was the best one in my opinion.
I think the second one was probably the best, but I really like Blood Money.
I think I don't want to buy one level and then play it over and over. I want to play the whole game and then come back to those levels.
I feel the exact same. So for me, like, if this had been a full game, I would have considered buying it. Yeah,
I know I would.
But for me, it's disappointing because of the way they're releasing it.
Greedy cash grab.
Because this isn't the sort of game. I mean, you can release it like that. It does lend itself to it in some way, but for me, it's not. It's not that sort of game. It's not designed from the ground up to be episodic. It's more. It was a game, and they've chopped it up to be episodic. So for me, it's a major disappointment in that regards. But in terms of the way it plays, I've heard a lot of good things. So when it gets released as a collection, maybe it'll find its way into my collection. So I figured I'd put that out there for that. Because it deserves a place for me for that reason. The next is Quantum Break.
I've never heard of it.
You're not going to be disappointed, but it says a lot about it if you've never heard about it. It's basically it's like a linear third-person shooter with like time mechanics. So you can sort of like slow down time and like speed up time and teleport, or all that sort of jazz. And it's had mixed reviews, but again, the hype built it up to sound like it's something it wasn't, and it's supposed to be very linear, and and the story, although there are two main different ways of playing the story, it seems to be very I don't know. Again, I think the biggest complaint about it is how linear it was. It would have definitely, paid dividends to make the areas more open, and it not open world per se, but again, like I was saying in the other topic, more open areas. Like a Hitman or a Tenchu, like have its own little open sections, sort of things. But I think this can creep its way into there because of potentially being disappointing because of, again, the hype. Hype's a big thing these companies never seem to learn. So the next one, let's move on to the next one you've probably never heard of. Homefront The Revolution. Again, an evolution of... It's a game that's been talked about for like 10 years or something. It's been in development for like, I don't know, 7 years or something. And it kept getting switched between... It passed through lots of different developers' hands, and because of that, it became like more. It like got released as like a jumbled mess when the game itself had a lot of potential as its like idea. It's like in America that's been taken over. I forget who by. It was North Korea in the original one, but I forget who takes it over in this one. But anyway, it's been taken over, so it's like the Americans are the occupied country, and all their technology got knocked out by like EMPs and shit. So it's kind of like a Wolverine sort of Red Dawn sort of vibe, which is really cool. Lots of, who doesn't like that story? It's a cool potential, but because it got passed through so many companies, it became like a jumbled mess. So, and it was super buggy at release, and the AI of the characters was like comically funny. It's like clips of them getting like bunched up in like corners of streets and stuff, and there's like eight NPCs all just walking into a corner, like all like tripping over each other and shit. It's super like.
That's a shame, because that's another one that kind of like caught my eye, I guess. I remember like going through and looking at loads of like trailers for different games and all that kind of stuff. And I remember watching the trailer for that, and I was really excited. So that's really a shame. That is a shame that it's been so.
It's the premise. The premise is cool. I mean, it sounds like now they've patched it, so it's at least works, and it's perhaps it's even a solid game, but.
Yeah.
Review-wise, it's probably not more than a 6 or 7 at this point. And if you got it at launch and it wasn't even fucking working, it's like, come on, people. It's because it got passed through so many hands. That's the problem, and there wasn't a coherent, development cycle. And but yeah, it's such a shame because the premise is so good, isn't it? Who doesn't like the Red Dawn premise? So.
Yeah, I loved Red Dawn, to be honest.
Yeah.
Seen it ages ago as well.
Well, the original is the best. The remake's a bit, it's all right.
Oh, I've only seen the all right.
You want to see the original? It's so much better. I mean,
think
it's
it
a
was,
bit
I was
dated,
just kind of
but...
like, yeah. I was just a bit happy that it had got friggin' Peter from the Hunger Games, and can you remember
I remember.
Yeah.
It had didn't it have Thor
Josh.
And Thor's brother?
Yeah, it got Thor and Thor's brother. What about Drake? Josh from Josh and Drake. Drake and Josh and Drake.
Oh yeah, he was in
it.
I've seen him like a massive departure in a different film, like where it's like some weed dealer and stuff. That was quite a good film actually, but
yeah, cool.
he was an alright actor. But yeah, but I think it's like he's trying to shake that whole Josh and Drake sort of vibe. But what are you gonna do?
Fair play.
Best of luck to him. Mate. He was decent.
He did really well
in the films I've seen him in. So yeah. Anyway, enough of Josh and Drake. The big one, or the biggest one, I should say, No Man's Sky. In terms of disappointment, right? I played the game and I've probably played like 40 hours or something. I enjoyed my time with it, but I think it's partly because it was kind of like a really stressful time or whatever. So, and it was such a good, I don't know, like almost like meditative process. You know what I mean? Like doing some of the stuff. But I left it after like playing for a good chunk of time, and although I enjoyed it. Well, I looked back because I was like, right, I'm probably never going to push through to the ends now. And I looked up what the endings were, and the endings are fucking dreadful. If you pumped in like 60 to 80 hours to get to the ending, and like the endings are dreadful. I'm going to put spoilers out there in case you want to play No Man's Sky. But basically, the endings are twofold. One is you can save up all this resource to create a new star and a new solar system to add into the game, which is kind of a cool premise. But
yeah, because there's not enough planets already.
Yeah. It doesn't really add much.
There wasn't quite enough.
It doesn't add much to the gameplay value. I mean, there was only 18 quintillion planets, Louise. Come on.
I know. I felt like it needed one more.
I like the idea. I like the idea of it though, that it's you made that solar system. That's a cool idea, but that doesn't add anything to the game, really. Aside from a little cool, oh that's cute for like 10 minutes, and then oh well, nothing's really changed. And then the other option is, you sort of like you sort of restart, you sort of crash land again, and you sort of like it's trying to be like Journey, where you get reincarnated, but instead you essentially just reboot the entire game again from scratch, and you crash landed on a random planet in the universe. That's the other ending.
Awesome.
And although I think you still have all your item spaces and whatever I don't even know if you have what you were carrying on you. Although you have some stuff, you're essentially just back at the start again after 60 hours. It's like a troll. Do you know what I mean? It's like a fucking troll. There should have been a troll face pop up. Could you imagine how pissed you'd be? you spent all that time, and then you get sent back to the start, and it's like there wasn't even like an explanation or like like a philosophical thing or whatever. It's just like you push back to the start. It's like, at least Journey, it's like a 2-hour game, and it has like philosophical meanings in it. It's like in a way it's about religion and reincarnation and stuff. I enjoyed it. I don't know what you didn't see.
I played for like an hour and I was so bored. I couldn't care less.
Was there any other players there with you? Because if you
there were people going map, and I didn't care. I didn't care.
I think
shit.
I think you saw it in a different way. You've got to see it more almost like a film in a way. It's definitely you definitely get attached.
It was a bad film.
It didn't blow me away like I've heard some people.
The whole thing was utterly dull.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It takes so long to walk everywhere.
Not really.
Really.
Depends what you were doing. I was flying about climbing with people. It didn't really take me long. The only time it took that was taking long to get places where it gets to the snowy point. I doubt you even got there. And then the wind slows you down, but that's the only time really I found it.
I'll never get that hour back, and it was shit.
Well, I thought it was good. I think you looked at it wrong, but anyway, it was
you
trying.
Did it wrong. You didn't like it, so you did it wrong.
Typical Nathan.
No, I think you looked at it in a different way. I think you thought of it as gameplay, and it was.
I thought about it wrong.
Yeah,
silly.
It was yeah, but you could say that about everybody's gone to the Rapture and games like that. I mean,
that's
what
cool
what constitutes
Utterly
a game?
poor.
I've not played
Nothing
that.
Happens.
I'm probably not going to be
happens.
into that one, but
you listen to some people talk about stuff, and then nothing happens.
And then there's like
and then a story unfolds, and you don't care.
And then it's like. But all them sort of games, the Vanishing of Ethan Carter and Gone Home and stuff. It's like you want to argue whether
I played Gone Home as well.
Not, but
boring.
I think it just speaks to different people. It's like I think you've got to see it more like a film or a story as opposed to a game. I think that's the way
I'd rather watch an actual film. But okay, some people like them. Good on them. I think they're dull as shit. So
I'm not necessarily blown away by him, but I enjoyed my time with Journey. So I didn't think it was amazing, but it was good. No Man's Sky. So what are your thoughts on it? I think the hype train killed it for me. It's like they hyped it way too much. They made too much out of it, and PlayStation didn't help by putting out adverts all the fucking time, like mainstream adverts. And they literally all of them like made it sound like it's something that it wasn't. I didn't think that what's his name, something Murray, was necessarily all that bad. But I look back, I had seen something Jim Sterling did, and he put all the clips together, and the dude actually straight up lied on many times. Said the game had things that it didn't, like straight up lied.
Yeah.
And. So like I don't know if he intended to do it or he just wanted to provide these things, but he just couldn't. But he should have explained that at some point. That I wanted to do these things, but I just couldn't. We couldn't do it in the time. We didn't have time. So I mean, that's one of those things where you hope that there'll be a massive patch and they'll be like, oh, we've got all these cool things, but then you've got to strike while the iron's hot. Is anybody going to care if 3 months from now he's like, yep, we've got all these amazing things? Is anyone going to go back and play them? Where's the player base? So, any thoughts?
I watched Taylor play the first half an hour. I don't know. I am the sort of person that can get into the grind sometimes. But a good game makes the grind pleasurable in its own way, and it just seemed like endless collecting.
What it was like really cathartic and chilled, and if you didn't want to think really about what you were doing, or you didn't want to be doing something actiony where you had to have reaction times, and you just wanted to sort of just chill, then it really works. And that suited me at the time because I just wanted something to help me chill out, and so I enjoyed my time with it. But if you're not looking for that, if you were looking for like something more actiony or something more engaging mechanically and not grindy or collecting resources like a Minecraft or whatever, then that would, you're not going to like the game at all. So, so I think it depends in what space you're in.
Its biggest problem was probably that if it had been honest about what it was, then people would have liked it because they knew what they were getting. It's trickery that people don't like, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of, for
False
me,
impressions.
it's always the hype. The hype is the thing that kills all these games. It's the hype train. People need, like, companies need to realize, shit, let's slow the hype train down. Let's put on the brakes for a minute, because you're setting yourself up for failure. I mean, No Man's Sky probably sold really well initially, but that development company, Hello Games, is tarred. People aren't going to trust them next time around. They might have enough money to make a game, but they're going to have to make a game that's really good and humble and no bullshit, for people to, get back, give them a chance or whatever. So anyway, next, let's talk about Titanfall 2. Basically, it's a game that's got sandwiched between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty, which is the stupidest thing to do ever. And it sounds like Titanfall is a really, really good game, but it's getting sandwiched between the two biggest shooters of the year. And I think its problem is it's going to get forgotten. So, I don't think it's a bad game per se, but I think they're just idiots for releasing it in the fall. They should have just released it, spring next year or something, and where no one else was in that space that's a shooter, and they would have sold like hotcakes, I'd imagine. So, but yeah, again, I don't think you two are probably into that game. So let's move on next. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Again, like, it seemed really cool. It seemed like an evolution of Mirror's Edge, but disappointed a lot of people. Wasn't that great. It's the same with the original Mirror's Edge. It's like certain people really loved it, but other people it disappointed. It had potential, but didn't seem to go anywhere.
I didn't hear very good things about it at all.
And Mirror's Edge Catalyst seemed to just do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I remember when Mirror's Edge first came out, and to be honest, I know quite a few people that, I say quite a few, I know a couple of people who were quite hyping over it or whatever. I think it was when I was working at Game, maybe.
It could be. There was probably hype for it back then, yeah. It didn't come out when you were at Game, but there would, obviously, because it's a 2016 game.
No, not Catalyst, the original.
Oh, I don't know. I doubt it. I think it's before
2008.
I think it's before
2009. What year is it?
What year is it?
So that's like... Yeah, no, you're probably right. That's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. It might have like just recently came out. Anyway, regardless. I remember it coming out, and I remember people having a hype about it, and people liking it, and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, and then when it comes to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, again, heard good things, and then when it actually came out, people just didn't really like it. To be honest, again, like you said, it's the hype, and they're comparing it to what they hope would come from Mirror's Edge, and then
I think they were
the original.
I think they were expecting a major evolution in them to fix all the problems from the first one, but it didn't really evolve in a big way, and didn't fix a lot of the problems from the original.
Yeah.
So, it's like probably one they should have took back to the drawing board before, But
yeah, definitely.
I think it's probably still a good game, but it's like didn't live up to its potential. So next, Battleborn. Basically, it's kind of like it's this whole trying to put MOBA on console. Trying to do a Dota 2 and what's it called? What's the other one called? I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Trying to put like MOBAs on console. They're just not successful. It doesn't seem like console players really want to play MOBAs. And it came out at the exact same time as Overwatch, which isn't a MOBA, but is like a colourful shooter and looks very similar aesthetically. And from what I've heard of it, it's supposed to be good, but it just got blown out of the water by Overwatch. Like, so much hype for Overwatch. People are loving that game. So, that's one that again, it's not that it's a bad game. It's that, you know, poor timing and strategy and things. One that is probably pretty much a bad game universally, Mighty Number 9, which is the spiritual successor to Mega Man. Again, came out and it was janky as fuck, didn't really work properly, all sorts of issues on all sorts of platforms and consoles and stuff. And it sounds like they just stretched themselves too thin and didn't really make it a successor to Mega Man, just sort of made a game that was slightly similar. So that's a game that caught a lot of hate. You guys must have heard stuff about that, surely? No?
Not really, not a lot, to be honest. Regardless, though, it's still pretty low. I think, you know, it just sucks in general when they do it with movies, when they do it with games. It's just when they just don't try hard enough. They just do it because they know it's probably going to get them a bit of money.
Whereas, I mean, it's a shame because he was like the dude who made it was like the godfather of Mega Man and not Capcom. I forget anyway, but he'd left whatever company had control of Mega Man. I think it's Capcom. And then he said, "Oh, I'm going to make my own Mega Man," essentially, and people were super hyped because people who love Mega Man love fucking Mega Man, and it came out and it was just dreadful. Like any third party studio could have made it, and it was just like, and it was not good, and and it was janky as fuck, all sorts of like problems, like frame rate and stuff. So
that sucks.
Next, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I think the problem with this is not that it's per se a bad game, but they put it in space again, and people have been saying for God knows how long, stop putting it in space, stop putting it in the future. You know, people want like a more grounded, more realistic Call of Duty, and then they obviously early on in their development cycle they wanted to go to space. People are sick of fucking space. Stop putting stuff in space.
People are sick of Call of Duty. Fucking hell.
That is true.
Like, it's fucking Call of Duty. Like, how more different can it get? And it's obvious that they're grasping at straws if they fucking put it in space again. Like,
they do need to shake it up. I mean, they've had to bundle in Modern Warfare 1 with it, the remaster, just to, you know, get the same sort of hype and love. Like, this is the first like Call of Duty I'm just like, nah, I'm not in, because like originally I was only getting them. Well, not originally, but I got them because I liked them. But then it was only about zombies for me, and although this has zombies, it's like it's just too much. I've got like I was saying in the other one, Mod Tools is out, custom zombies. I'm good. I'm just gonna play that. So there'll be new stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, normally when, you know, it comes that time of year where Call of Duty's coming out, normally my my social media is just fucking blown up about Call of Duty this and Call of Duty that and blah 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 blah. But like this year, not really had that much, to be honest. I've not really had that much hype about it, and not really seen that much about it.
People aren't hyped about it. Here's the similar thing. People are hyped about the Modern Warfare 1 remaster. I think Infinite Warfare will probably be good, but people don't really want that. They want the Modern Warfare 1 remaster, with, like, personally, and they've bundled it. You can't buy them separately yet.
That's lame.
So they don't want to lose those numbers and everybody being, oh, Call of Duty's fallen from its place or whatever. So they're obviously, you know, trying to keep that, that mythos up or whatever.
I wonder what they've put as like the fucking collector's editions or whatever. Because like they always had like the standard, then like the, I don't know, deluxe, and then like the ones that were like insane money. I think it was Black Ops. I think it was probably like close to 200 quid or something.
Oh,
You've got like a little remote car with it and stuff with a camera on it.
Yeah, Black Ops 2 was a little drone, you know, like a flying little quadcopter thing. Yeah, they always do something. Sometimes they're shit though. I think like Ghosts was like a torch or something stupid. I don't remember.
A torch.
Like, you know, like strapping and shit. I can't remember. It was shit, whatever it was. Oh no, it was a camera. It was a camera. It was a little fucking like GoPro camera thing. It's like, oh, that's okay, but it's gonna be a shit camera. You should just buy a GoPro, you know.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it, fucking do it. That's ridiculous.
And finally, a game that hasn't out yet, but it's probably going to be disappointing. The Last Guardian. For me, I think it'll play well, but I think I've got a feeling it's going to be really, really short. I think you're going to be looking at like a 6-7 hour game.
Really?
That's my guess. I don't see how this game can't disappoint. It's been about for like 10 years or whatever, and unlike Final Fantasy where it's had things in between it, games in between it from that franchise, this hasn't. So it's just been that talked about for 10 years, and it can only really disappoint. You can't live up to 10 years of hype.
How much is it going to cost?
Nothing can.
That's what I was going to say.
£60.
Is it?
Not £60. Sorry, £40, $60.
It's not as bad, but that's still 40 quid for 7 hours worth of.
That's not a confirmation. I'm just guessing.
Had very long to them. They weren't much to do in it. They're kind of charming, but they're not worth that kind of money.
I think it'll be a good game, but I think it'll be really short, and I think people are super hyped for it. Unless you're crazy about Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, is going to probably be mildly disappointed. But definitely want to pick it in a sale. When it's out in a sale sometime next year, I'll probably pick it up if it's cheap. You know, because it'd be good, but it can only disappoint because of 10 years of hype. Nothing can survive 10 years of hype.
I wonder how disjointed it is though, and what kind of a mess it is.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
That's also going to be a worry. Definitely wait for reviews on that one. I wouldn't pre-order. Wait for reviews and see how it goes. But I'm guessing that'll be disappointing. But anyway, let's. What's our most disappointing one of the year? I think we're all going to be in agreement here. No Man's Sky. Yeah. B.
Yeah.
Probably, like I said, I enjoyed it. So don't get me wrong for the time I spent with it, but it wasn't what I said it was going to be. And that Sean Murray fella definitely lied. So it's got to be.
I'd say that or Call of Duty, just because it's the fact that it's fucking Call of Duty again.
Yeah, they could do with a pause, man. They could do with a pause and trying to do something different, really. But I don't see it happening anytime soon.
No, because I know like Muppets will just buy it anyway.
You can't say that. I was that Muppet. I'm that Muppet sometimes.
Definitely say that.
I used to
definitely can say that.
Yeah, but I used to get it for the zombies.
That just proves my point.
It was all about zombies for me.
Doesn't matter what, you still fucking bought it. That's the point.
Yeah, but I like. There's nothing wrong with what you like. I like zombies. Zombies is good, but
it depends what you like, Nathan.
Black Ops 3. For me, zombies wasn't quite what I wanted, but I'm getting custom zombies as well, so I'm not. I'm cool with it. But yeah, you can't really say that. There's lots of people who like it. That's not their fault. Sometimes people just want a dumb shooter. People want a dumb shooter. There's nothing wrong with a dumb shooter.
Yeah, but do you want to pay £60 for a dumb shooter?
£40. Oh, actually, no. I forget how much it costs bundled with Modern Warfare 1. I forget. Yeah, you're probably right. If you want Modern Warfare 1, it probably is £60. Yeah, that's not worth it. That's why I've not bought it. Because it's not worth it. I'll just wait. I've played Modern Warfare 1 before. I know what that's like. I'll just wait. I can wait. It's about patience. But, yeah.
You sound like you're really desperate. I can wait. No, I can definitely wait.
I'm not going to get. It's out already. I would have bought it, wouldn't I? If I was.
Or have you already read it? Have you already bought it?
I've already read it. Yeah, I read it. It was a great book.
I didn't say read. Or you can't even read, Nathan. The one and only book you've ever read is Binocular.
Hey, don't be dissing Binocular, all right? It's a masterpiece.
Well, you'll love it even more. It came out as a children's program now, so you don't even have to use your brain and read.
Has it? Why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me this important news? How could you?
I just thought that,
You should have phoned me straight away.
Try and hold on to your...
the minute you heard.
Adultness.
Adultness. My adultness. All right. Let's leave it here with my adultness.